welcome Glenn Williams.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Primerica Live for the final day of July 2023. As you can probably tell if you're in our viewing audience on TV, we have a packed house at number 1 Primerica Parkway with what I understand is the most excited audience we've ever had on TV. Is that right? And we're excited that you're excited, and I know the reason this house is packed is because so many of these great Primerica leaders are here to support their leaders. And our field host today, we're going to be hearing from the great Gary Kornegay Sr. and Gary Kornegay II, also known as G2. Give them a hand. If we could, let's start the program with some recognition of leaders that have achieved milestones since we were last together. So these are important milestones and great accomplishments that we're so proud of. Starting with a new ring earner, $100,000 earners from Canada. Let's congratulate Kevin and Natasha Clark. New $200,000 earners, also from Canada. Put your hands together for Kurt and Nicole Abley. Adding the 4th diamond, $400,000 earners. Congratulations to Edouard and Gabriela Fernandez. 2 brand new $500,000 earners, adding the 5th diamond to their rings. They got the hard half done. Let's congratulate Andy and Brittany Onstead and Jaime and Wilson Rosario. Jumping all the way to 8 diamonds, $800,000 in cash flow in the last 12 months. I talked to this great couple last week. They said they're going for the ruby by the convention, $1 million earners by this time next year. But now with the 8th diamond, let's congratulate Teshler and Gierda Sanat. And we have a unique opportunity today to do something that's truly special and to celebrate a special moment at Primerica. You know, up until now, Primerica has been blessed with 4 $4 million earners, leaders who've earned $4 million or more in a 12-month period at Primerica. Almost no other company can say that, but we've had the Buissons, the Barnes, the Sharps, and the Saffords that have led the way to this incredible income level. Until last week, when our 5th and newest $4 million earners were created at Primerica. Today, for the first time of many times we'll recognize them. Let's recognize the great Willie and Lorena Naranjo for $4 million. And of course, this is a special opportunity as well to hear from Willie live. Even though he's traveling right now, he said he'll plug in and help us with this recognition. So he's joining us by Zoom. Willie, are you with us today?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, we can hear you and we can see you, Willie. Congratulations.
How are you? Thank you so much.
Hey, Willie, we just wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate you, Lorena, the entire team for what you're accomplishing, just the trail that you're blazing. You're great pioneers in showing us what can be done in this business. So first of all, congratulations, but also everybody just wants to know, is this even possible for them? Is it possible in today's world to join Primerica, build a business, and become a headed toward $5 million earner? Share your vision of how it's possible for everyone watching with us today.
Yes, thank you, Glenn. Yes, it's possible for everybody. And, it's a start in 2010 when we decided to get focused in licensing. For the last 13 years, that's the only thing we talk about, we eat about, we talk with the team. That's the only message that we have in our hierarchy. For us, took us from 2010 to now to get to the 4 million, but we have amazing examples in our hierarchy. Miguel Illich is $2 million earner. He started in 2013, and by the convention, he's going to be in $2 million. And also Diana Macias is here in the business. He's $1 million earner. The only thing we are focused on is in licensing. This is possible for everybody. The most important thing is you need to decide what is your philosophy about the business and stick to them and don't change it. And that's why we only think about licensing and grow a business, grow a huge hierarchy, and do the right business, the correct business, doing everything the right way. Because this business for us, it's our life, and we are so happy, so grateful for the opportunity that we have with Primerica, because it's not because of Primerica we don't have this type of income. And also, the hierarchy that we have is amazing, and thanks, I want to say thanks to them, because they follow us, and they believe in us, because it's an example. Nobody have that path about licensing for so long, maybe for a little, but we have for so long, and everybody is in our hierarchy is focusing the same thing, and we are growing huge. And I believe in the next year we're gonna have a lot of $1 million in hierarchy, and 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, and for sure, in our case, we're gonna be 5, 6, 7. Our goal is to get to the $12 million and make $1 million a year. And we know it's possible. We need to have more licensing, and that's our main focus. And if you have more licensing, for sure you're gonna make more money.
Hey, well, Willie, thank you for being so focused on that. There's no question at all. You are an example. Your team is an example, because you're right. It's not just for Willie and Lorena. You've got so many successful leaders throughout your team setting income records. Big licensed teams lead to big incomes. Thank you for keeping us focused on that. Thank you for being a reminder and a role model. And congratulations to you and your entire team becoming our 5th $4 million earners. Give the Naranos a hand if you would, please. Absolutely amazing. Have fun. They're cruising right now somewhere on the other side of the planet, but through the miracle of Zoom, we got them here because they're out celebrating this incredible accomplishment. So what that means is you've got to decide how that applies to you. Okay, you might be looking for $40,000 or $400,000 before you get to $4 million, but the way to get there is the same way. That's by building a great team. So let's look at what we have available in the final hours of Commit to Surge July. You know, we're committing to Surge, following Willie's footsteps. As a company surging beyond 150,000 life licenses, you do your share. Here's what you've got to help you get that done. First, the deadline is for July is tomorrow night, August the 1st at midnight Eastern time. That's when you get your business in to count for the month of July. Don't miss that deadline. All month ends are at midnight now. We've made that standard, and that's tomorrow, the first business day of the following month, so it works as usual. Here's what you have in play to use during the time remaining to rack up the score in July. First of all, for recruits and recruiters, we continue to offer an additional $50 of credit in the field training bonus to those recruits that log into Primerica in the Primerica app within 24 hours. That gets people plugged in fast. So that's a recruiting promotion. Remember, we're in the 3rd month right now of Hang 10 for Hawaii. How many would love to be in Hawaii in February? All right? You can do it. It's absolutely winnable. No matter how much doubt you may have today, I will tell you, you can win it, and there's still time. I would encourage you to focus on that. Remember, not only competing for Hawaii Future RVPs, you're also competing to be members of the future and be recognized in Hawaii. Get your future jersey on stage in Hawaii, so that's going on as well. And then, of course, for RVPs and for everyone, there's the opportunity for the big banner by the end of the year, okay? This will actually be a banner. This is a mock-up, obviously, but you're competing to be part of the surge to 150,000. Here's the way it works. If you're an RVP or above, you commit. You got to be committed or we're not tracking you. And then you grow by 10% in the last half of the year over the last half of last year. Then your team gets the banner and you get a Primerica license plate. And then in addition to that, every member of the team who gets licensed personally and or gets a teammate license will also qualify for a One Primerica license plate. And so that's an opportunity for everybody to compete, to follow in the footsteps of great leaders like Willie and grow the size of your licensed team. We want to help you get there. So out on POL are resources. If you go out to the homepage on POL, you can see the box that says Commit to 150. You click on it, and that is a place you can commit. And I would encourage every person to make a commitment, because when you make a public commitment, you are more committed to it than if you keep it secret. So I would encourage you to do that. But in addition to that, you've got all the resources you need to build a great team. We've got top leaders who've given us their fundamentals, just like Willie and Lorena, but dozens and dozens of other leaders that run slightly different systems so that you can go out there and plug into all of those. They're all available right out there on POL, and I would encourage you to plug into that. You know, week before last week on Primerica Live, we had a highlight show, and the week before that, we were actually at the event, at the securities event at the Mohegan Sun Resort. And what an incredible time together with over 400 leadership couples at our team, and you can see some of the pictures up on the screen. We had a great time, and we learned a lot. You may or may not have qualified for that trip, but you can benefit from that trip because all of the resources from that trip, all the media, all the presentations, all the speeches are out available for you to download and to watch and to use on POL. I would encourage you to go out to the on-demand area. In fact, there's 2 shortcuts right from the home page where you can go see all the photos and pick up all the resources from the Mohegan Sun, and I would encourage you to do that. We had some great, great leaders with great messages. And so that was a big event, and we love big events because we know big decisions are made at big events. Don't miss these 3 coming up, although you might be too late on Women in Primerica because it is now officially sold out. But for those of you that got tickets, be with us in Las Vegas in September for the Women in Primerica event. Then remember 2 other big events. We've got the HALC National Meeting coming up in October in Ontario, California, and then the Asian Pacific Islander Leadership Council event in Las Vegas in December. Be sure to go out on POL and register for those. Just a couple of quick updates on things that are happening in our business that you may need to know. A reminder that our lifetime investment program conversion is almost complete. It's one of the largest conversions in the securities business in history. Not just history of Primerica, but in history of history. Okay, this was big, and it's almost done. And so thank you to all of you who are in that business or have teammates in that business that have helped us get there. I will tell you, if there are points of friction on the next slide, make us aware of those issues so that we can help you work through them. You've got a lot of resources for our securities business that can help you smooth out those wrinkles just in case you encounter one. And then finally, our calendar of events, just to make sure you've got things on your calendar. Tomorrow, on August the 1st, we have a special Primerica Mortgage Update webinar. It'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's available to all RVPs, all of our mortgage license representatives. And if you're in a state where mortgages are available and you're securities licensed, but you're not yet mortgage licensed, you plug into that too. I'll be sharing that time with Mike Miller and also with Nate, and we'll be talking about that business and the future of our mortgage business. And then coming up day after tomorrow, we kick off the month of August with our August RVP Locker Room. That's at 12 noon Eastern Time on Wednesday, August 2nd. Make sure you've got that. All RVPs should expect to be part of that. And so I would encourage you to put that on your calendar. And then 1 week from today, at this time, same bat location. Nobody remembers that because you're not old enough to remember Batman in the 60s. All right. But in any case, 1 week from today, we'll be back on Primerica Live, and we'll be hosted by the great Ivan Earl, and he'll have Kenny Thompson and Kevin Brown with him. If you're excited about that, let's hear it. Another great show next week, but now we have the great show this week that we're going to go to a quick promo video, and then after that, we're going to be joined by our field host, and there's no bigger leader anywhere in Primerica than $2.5 million earner, senior national sales director, and Circle of Champions member, the great Gary Kornegay. When we get finished with this next short video, be sure to give Gary a huge welcome as he comes. Let's go to the video.
Thank you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Have a seat. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Have a seat. Appreciate you. Welcome, Primerica. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in North America. I'm your host for the day, Senior National Sales Director Gary and Patricia Kornegay. My wife is not here with us. She's back at home with my daughter-in-law. My son, you'll hear from in a minute. They're expecting another grandchild for us in the next day or two. So we're excited about populating planet Earth. I want to thank my hierarchy for doing what you're doing. I'm so proud of all RAPs. There are a few RAPs that are here with us today. Arlene Jimenez is here with us. I see Andreas and Joanna, April Bonner's here, Vivian Diaz, Adrian's here, and Gozi and Reggie is here as well. We're so proud of the Kornegay hierarchy, honest to God truth. I'm so proud of you, I can't stand it. Honey, I want to tell you I love you. Back at home watching me, I appreciate you for supporting this crazy man for the last 35 years of me being in this business and making a crazy decision to quit my job and get involved in something I'd never heard of before. And we live a magical life today because you supported this entire journey. And I really love you, I appreciate you, and thank you so much for allowing me to do what we do. I want to thank also Glenn Williams, man. Do we have one of the greatest CEOs in American business? Glenn Williams, I appreciate you and what you do for this great company. Bobby Peterman, I got a chance to talk to him backstage and what he's doing, and all the great leaders. Camila Cutliff is somewhere around here. I saw her somewhere here. And just thank you guys so much, Julie Seaman and the entire Primerica staff. The fact that we get an opportunity to have you watching our back as we go out every day and battle with the competition, battle with poverty and mediocrity and all the things that come along with today's society. We thank you so much. This company is phenomenal. I don't know what else to tell you. I've been doing this now for 35, 36 years. I'm 60 years old. Pretty much all of my adult life I've been in this company, and I've been through all the different cycles of the economy. I've probably been through 3 or 4 recessions, 1 depression, 1 pandemic. Are you with me? And this company continues to thrive. We've been tested from every angle. And I've lived a magical life the entire journey. I was making $5.90 an hour at a job before taxes. So when I came to Primerica, I did ask the guy that was presenting that night, can I see your checks? And I said, all you have to do, you don't have to show me all your checks. Show me 1 check higher than my check, and I'm going to quit my job. And he showed me several checks, and the first one was higher than mine because I was only making $800 a month. And I quit my job the next day. I never heard of Primerica, didn't know what you guys did. I just knew that I had nothing to lose. Because when you're broke, you can't be broke and skeptical, right? And I can't go, well, what is this? Gary, you're broke, okay? What do they want me to do? You're broke, okay? Folks, I couldn't believe it. The gentleman that was speaking the night that I went to me back in '87, he was 25, I was 24. Just an age difference. 1 year age difference. He said he was making $30,000 a month. This is 1987. Now, I know how these seminars go where people say they make all this money and they embellish a little bit when it's really $29,000. They roll up to 30. So I said, well, if he's lying, let's say he's telling half the truth. That's still $15,000 a month. What if he's telling a quarter of the truth? That's still $7,000 a month. What if he's telling an eighth of the truth? That's $3,500 a month. What if he's just totally lying? Still more than what I was making my job, right? So I looked at this like, this is crazy. I sat through that whole meeting, I'm sitting there going, there's got to be a catch. There's always a catch. And I sat through the meeting. Now, I didn't pay attention to the first 30 minutes of the meeting. I ain't gonna lie to you. They were going over the Rule of 72, compound interest, mutual funds. I was a DJ on the weekends. I thought I was already in the mutual fund business. A lot of people having fun. I'd say, I'm a DJ. I know what mutual funds are, right? And so I didn't pay attention to the financial part of the meeting. I'm not gonna lie to you. But when I got to the part about the money part, when you're broke, this is where you listen. And I listened to what they said you could make. Now, before the guy said he made $30,000 a month, they went through the whole comp plan, and they had me at 25%. Well, hold on a second. So if I bring you $1, I keep a quarter. Do you understand in American business that's unheard of? In business, you want to keep a quarter? I mean, think about that. In the mafia, they don't take a quarter of your business. Can you imagine the mafia walking to your store and go, I want 25%? They go, no, we don't do that. We'll take 10%. Primerica says, hey, you bring us $1, you keep a quarter. But if you're lazy, this is not going to work for you. But if you're hard working, you go, are you sure you saying a quarter? Do you know what you're saying? So if I bring you 1,000, I get to keep a quarter of that. What if I bring you 10,000? Well, then you keep 2,500. What if I bring you 100,000? Then you keep 25,000. Why would I go to work tomorrow after hearing that? Like how can anybody go to work the next day after seeing this? I mean, I liked my job. I was on my job for 5 years. I loved going to work. I was probably one of the best employees at my job. I was an EMT for 2 years, and I went to work in kidney dialysis for the last 3 years. I enjoyed going to work until I saw a Primerica meeting. The next day I went to work, it looked like my boss had normally say, hey, Gary. It looked like he said, what are you looking at? Right? My boss said, you want to work overtime? I used to say, yeah, I would love to work overtime. That's double pay. You want to work overtime? Well, no, I'm not working overtime. Don't you ask me to do something like that. I go, my attitude has changed, a little bit after seeing this great company. So I quit my job right away because I knew in the medical field, if you're not focused, somebody can lose their life. So I quit my job. My wife packed up her job for a year. Then a year later, she quit her job. And she had worked for the city of Los Angeles. So we're both young. I'm 25, she's 24. We're in a business like this. We're scared to death like everybody else. But I'm a believer. I'm a believer. And I believe if you walk by faith and not by sight, what one man can do, another man can do better. So I looked at Primerica. I didn't go, this guy's better than me. I go, oh, you haven't seen me yet. If you're paying him 30, oh, you're going to pay me. And the guy did a great presentation, but I didn't think he was better than me. And then when I sat down with my family and saw that they had the wrong insurance, then I went from saying I want to make money to I want to correct an injustice. You mean to tell me that there are companies that are intentionally underinsuring people and overcharging them? Do you understand you only get to die once? Well, how would a person knowing that I'm going to die underinsure me? And knowing that, when I look at a cash value policy, when I see that a person's paying $200 a month for something that should cost $50, I don't look at the $150 difference. You do. Guess what I look at? So if the client could pay $200 and you gave them $200,000 and the actual cost is $50, you could have gave them $800,000. You stole from Mel's kids $600,000. Because see, death is for certain. Death is for certain. Term insurance, every policy is term insurance. Every policy on the market is term insurance. But that's not true, Gary. Whole life is permanent. Is your life permanent? No, it's temporary, right? So you're here for a certain term. There's no such thing as permanent insurance. That's like jumbo shrimp. That's an oxymoron. Right? It's permanent insurance. What's permanent insurance when you're going to pass away at some point? If the whole life ends at age 100, then it's a 70-year term if you buy it at 30. It's just not a permanent policy. They're overcharging you for a longer term. But they're underinsuring you. They're taking your kids' money. They're not taking your money, you're dead. They're taking your mama's money, your wife's money, your husband's money. They're taking the next generation's money. But when I saw that, I went, oh, this is going to be even better than I thought. Like, I'd do that for free. You're going to pay me money to go read somebody else's contract. So the salesman goes and do all the work and do all the selling. So I'm not a salesperson, I'm a salesperson. I get paid to tell on people. They go do the work, convince the client to spend. I go behind their back, read their contract, change it to what it's supposed to be, and you're going to pay me for that? I'm a tattletale. You're a salesperson. You're not a salesperson, you're a salesperson. This is what we do for middle class. The next person you're going to hear is a second generation. This is how awesome Primerica is, that not only do they free me, but they have now freed my children. My son don't have a job. My daughter don't have a job. My daughter-in-law don't have a job. My grandkids never have a job. My great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandkids are never going to have a job. I came here to free myself and free the whole entire Kornegay clan. I want you to give a hand to this next young man, the greatest son of all the sons on the planet. I checked. The greatest business partner. I never thought my number one recruit would be in the crib next to me in the bed. I was making $700,000 a year and living a great life at $700,000 a year. He got in the business and shot us up to $2.5 million. Y'all show some love for my business partner, Gary D. Kornegay II.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Let me hear some noise. Let me hear you, let me hear you. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, it feels so good to be back in the studio. I feel the love. Man, oh man, it feels good to be back on PFN TV. Feels good to be in the studio. Connectivity, that energy. Y'all feel that? Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's infectious. You better get you some. So before I get started, I want to thank some people. Man, got to give it up to my mother and father. Without them, literally, I would not be here. But I mean that in more ways than one. I mean, they paid a price. So me and my wife, me and my sister, and now my daughters, I could say that, daughters, right? No longer have to work in corporate America and no longer have to go up on the cross and be sacrificed like they did. So I definitely want to give it up to them. Got to give it up to the Kornegay hierarchy, man. The entire hierarchy, not a portion of it, the entire hierarchy. We love you guys for what you guys are doing. We're blowing and going, and we're just getting started. And I want to talk about a special moment today. I usually never use notes, but I get Scrabble brain when the camera's on, so we're going to go ahead and stick to the notes. In 2020, I got super excited about the opportunity and said, you know what, I want to expand our family business from the West Coast over to the East Coast. I'm going to move to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm going to build me one of the biggest base shops Georgia has ever seen. And that was the thought process. But that was in May of 2020, the heart of COVID. Where you can't walk up to people and shake their hands and go, hey, how you doing? I'm Gary Kornegay, right? Hey, pleasure to meet you. You're a business owner in the area. I would love to connect with you. See, we can no longer connect with people the way we were used to, so some things had to change, right? Well, when I moved, I didn't know that Zoom was going to happen. I didn't know that I didn't have to live in Georgia to expand to Georgia. Man, I played in Georgia for about a year and a half, had a great time. We actually produced a regional vice president with the team that we built out here with Arlene Jimenez, new $100,000 earner as well. Give her a round of applause. But there comes a time in every person's life where man, a decision needs to be made. And so I made a decision and said, you know what, I'm going to go back home. For two reasons. Number one, for family. Number two, for myself. See, in 2021, I was diagnosed with something called FOMO. Do y'all know what FOMO is? I got it bad. Fear of missing out. I was that person. I was like, okay, he called a team meeting, an emergency meeting in California. I'm in Georgia. I got 4 hours. Can I get there? Hey, I need a first class flight to California. You know how many times I did that the same day? You better ask American Express how many times I did that in the same day. Right? Why? Because I didn't want to miss a beat. I wanted to be involved in the business. I wanted to be involved in the base shop. So FOMO brought me back to California. And man, because I came back to California, we were able to expand not just into Georgia, but 38 other states. See, today the Kornegay hierarchy is operating in 39 states. Before the pandemic, it was just one. So what are some things that we focused on, man? I'm telling you guys, this is huge. We talked about a big vision, right? A lot of people talk vision. They talk about today, triple digit producing in the base shop, triple digit recruiting in the base shop. But those numbers were being done in the 1990s. My dad's got like old leaders bulletins with coffee stains on them. He was running a $100,000 base shop in the 90s. I'm like, golly, right? And so I'm like, man, something's got to change. What about the first $500,000 base shop? Does anybody want a base shop like that? See, if you're dreaming like that, a $500,000 base shop, well, that's not reachable. That's a lofty goal. Who would want to run a base shop that big? Well, somebody that's got 1 leader in all 50 states averaging about $10,000 in premium. Is that easy to do? Yes or no? But we got to put in a lot of front end work. We're in the process of building the biggest base shop Primerica's ever seen, not to flex, but to do what the Naranjos are doing and say, what? We're going to show you how to do it. See, we did a meeting right before this and we talked about competition versus CompuVision. And the Naranjo family is the CompuVision. We're chasing after them. They're showing us what's possible. So we're excited about our goals. We're talking about it on all of our Zoom calls. It says here, and I really do believe this, $5 million through third and premium. Y'all, that's 5,000 clients in a month. Say that's easy. Say that's simple. With Zoom today, anything is possible. But if you take your mind there first, right? You got to take your mind there first, and then you got to turn around and do what? Put some work behind it. So let's talk about the work that we're able to do today because we're operating on Zoom. See, before I lived in California, right, where it takes an hour to go across the street and come back. So a crazy day for me, Josh, is doing 5 appointments a day. I'm doing about 3 recruiting appointments. This is before Zoom. 3 recruiting appointments a day, 2 KTs at night. And I'm like, I'm whooped. I'm tired. I almost crashed on the freeway trying to drive. Celsius became, well, back then, Red Bull, Monster, Bang, all of that became my best friend. All the energy drinks and coffee became my best friend. Then the world shifted and I had to adjust. No more traffic because I'm operating on the information highway. I'm now doing business on Zoom. You mean to tell me I could do 5 appointments a day? You mean to tell me that I can close my laptop and be a present dad while still building the biggest base shop the company's ever seen? You mean to tell me that I can increase my work ethic and say, what if I did 10 appointments a day? What if I did 15 appointments a day? You guys, between me and my dad combined, separate, we're doing 15 to 20 field training observation appointments a day for our base shop. That would be impossible without Zoom. We made the adjustments, we made the switch, we made the shift, and our people followed suit. I want to challenge any and everybody that's out there today, right? I'm not talking to a group of people that are not in the business. I'm talking to the people that have the same comp plan, right? The same mindset, right? The same presentations. We don't do anything different. The difference is the intensity in which you're working. So when we jumped our base shop recently from $50,000 to $192,000 in the base shop, we'll finish over $100,000 again. It's like our 5th month consecutive doing over $100,000 in the base shop. What are some things that we changed? We just put a focus on some things. So here's what we're doing. We wanted to create new leaders. See, as a leader, you got to be okay with understanding that you judge a tree by the fruit it bears. When's the last time you bared new fruit as a district leader? Division leader, regional vice president, SVP, NSD, SNet. When's the last time you produced one? See, we know it, right? A recruit's not a recruit until it gets a, right? Well, guess what? A RVP is not an RVP until it has a, well, guess what? When's the last time you produced one? See, we started doing analysis on ourselves and saying, you know what? I'm not going to hold the team accountable. I'm going to hold myself accountable, and that's going to hold them accountable. So when you see 60-year-old Big G, sorry to put you out there, Dad, right? When you see him outworking you, it's either going to do 2 things for you. It's going to motivate you, or it's going to make you go, man, I got to get something going. Hopefully it motivates you and not depresses you. Because when I see my pops working, I go, man, this dude is 60 and he doesn't have to do it, but he loves doing it. He loves taking the person, like he plays with this idea. Gee, what would it be like? We're in the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A. What would it be like if the lady that said my pleasure and gave us the sweet tea today, what if she was our next SNSD? What if she was the next RVP? See, you can't stop dreaming, thinking, and speaking like that if you want growth. But I think we get away from that because we go into management mode. We go into, well, why aren't you moving? Why aren't you going? What can I do to help you? Another taboo topic. I'm going to talk about it, right? You don't motivate people. You recruit motivated people. But what if I hold their hand? Well, guess who quits on me the most? The people who I hold their hand. You know who don't quit? The person says, man, I'm going to get my license because I got to make some money. The person says, hey, coach, what's next? I got to go district. You know, how long does it take to go? How long does it take to go division? Who's the fastest produced regional vice president? When you get people asking questions like that, oh, man, you better put your seatbelt on because you are about to enter into an affair with this lady named Mo. Momentum. And it's the best thing you'll ever experience in your life. I promise you, when you got momentum on your side, everything becomes easier. Hey, it's easier to talk to your team when you got momentum on your side. You know what's frustrating? Coaching your team with no momentum. Hey, guys, we got to make something happen. Hey, guys, versus how do you get momentum? You call plays. How do you get momentum? You start focusing on the new people and not the old. My dad says, hey, it's easier to give birth than resurrect the dead. He's done none of them. But I believe him, you know? But I believe him. Hey, all jokes aside, if you want a renewed spirit, if you want a renewed energy, if you want a renewed attitude, spend more time with the new people and get them what they want. It's okay to sell them the dream, show them what lifestyle is going to look like, but show them how simple it is to work. Because of this company, me and my wife were able to travel all 2021. Yeah, we took some flights to California, but we took a honeymoon every month that year. So you name a desirable place, we went there. But the cool part about it was I had my laptop and was able to do Zooms from that country. The cool part about it was I was able to talk to my team. The cool part about it was I was able to fellowship with people that were from America and say, hey, man, listen, I don't know about you, but since I've been here, you know, I made more than I spent. You know, I think that's refreshing. And to be able to live that lifestyle today, we can say that this is a new Primerica. Please say new Primerica. See, Primerica is not 40 plus years old anymore. This is a 3-year-old baby. And guess what's wrong? Guess what happens with 3-year-old babies? Right? Sometimes they get crazy to work with, right? They throw up on you, right? They use the restroom on you, right? They don't want to go to sleep. They're a little bit annoying. They ask a lot of questions. My daughter, Carrie, is in the phase of, Dad, what is that? Dad, I'm scared. Dad, what is that? I'm like, I told you, that's the vacuum, baby. Like, but you don't get frustrated with her, do you? No, you answer the questions, and then eventually she's no longer scared of the vacuum. Well, your new recruit operates the same way. Our business today operates the same way. Well, how do you use Zoom now? How do you connect with people through Zoom? How are you able to build relationships through Zoom? Don't say it doesn't work. Don't say you can't do it. Be inquisitive and ask. See, I believe that we're one Primerica, right? Well, if you got something that I need to know, I ain't scared to ask. Don't be scared. So if you're the person that has the missing link to what my business is, what my business needs, I'm going to pick up the phone and call you since we're one Primerica. See, our base shop is blowing and going. Our hierarchy is blowing and going because we took on the mantra that we're going to collaborate and not compete. We're going to start collabing. Shane and Raquel, y'all got something that I need. I need your help with that. Rory, I need your help with Andres and John. I need your help with that. And we're not going to say who's better at this and who's better at that, but we're going to say, hey, listen, we're going to take the best and leave the rest. And that's how we're going to dominate the company, you guys. Well, I don't want to do it. I'm not saying this to flex on you. Remember, my goal is not to be your competition. It's to be your CompU vision. I'm going to show you what's possible. Me and my pops, I'm telling you, we don't 1-2 punch. Just when the old man gets you, the young one uppercut you, right? And that's the best thing in the world because I'm able to leverage his wisdom. Thank God for his wisdom because I'm rambunctious. I'll be 30 in November. That's crazy, huh? I've been in the game 10 years and I'm still hard-headed. Right? I'm still going through stuff, right? But I'm using his wisdom and my work ethic, and we put those things together, and we're having the greatest time in the world. This is not hard Primerica. This is not Trimerica. This is not Crimerica. This is Primerica, but it's a new company. So if I were you, start thinking big, start doing big, start working big, and expand your vision from your one section, your region, your one state to nationally. See, I truthfully believe that the Kornegay hierarchy is going to have Canadian RVPs. I truthfully believe that we're going to have some Puerto Rican RVPs. And I'm not talking about from the States. I'm talking about in Puerto Rico. See, I truthfully believe that we're going to have an RVP in Guam. I don't know where Guam is, but we're going to have an RVP in Guam. And hopefully the food is good because we're going to spend some time out there, but we're going to build a business that's national, not local, because we're doing major things. Hey, listen, we're taking over one city at a time. I just ask that you join us on this process. Kishana, Carrie, Mom, I love you guys. Primerica, thank you for this opportunity. Glenn, you the man, Coach. I love you, man. Take care. Y'all have a good one.
Let's give it up for G2. What a great job, great vision. I'm going to piggyback on what he talked about and kind of give you guys some insight on why it's important that you kind of have to pivot over to the new world that we've been forced to live in, which is a great thing. Trust me, it's a great thing. I appreciate it probably more than most people because I've been around where you actually physically had to go out and do the business. I mean, I'm going back to 1987, and just to watch technology improve so much. And I want to make sure that you understand how to use it. Don't let technology use you, you use it, okay? So I'm going to start with my slides here and jump right into this. It says, think outside the box. We don't lack opportunity, we lack innovation. Opportunity is always all around us. Am I correct? Everywhere you look, opportunity is there. I mean, look at some of these companies that we consider disruptors today. They're a major part of our life. I mean, who would ever think that somebody would go and sleep in somebody else's bed? Somebody would say, hey, you know what? You could use my house for a day. Sleep in my bed, right? Pay me a day rate when there's a hotel up the street. The hotel industry said, that's not going to work. Nobody's going to give the keys to their personal residence and let a total stranger stay in their house and pay them. Well, today, Airbnb has 1 billion stays. 1 billion people. There are people here today that came to this event that you chose Airbnb over one of the major hotel chains. Yes or no? And you got there and you saw the picture on the website, didn't show the neighbor next door who's crazy, right? Okay? Apple computer, think about that. At one point you had a whole room that was lifted off the floor to have all this data. But Steve Jobs disrupted the industry today. 2.2 billion people have an actually Apple phone. There's only 7 billion people arguably on the planet. 2 billion of them have an Apple phone, okay? Think about that, changed the entire game. I remember when I came home with my first cell phone back in 87, 88, my daddy said, why do you have a cell phone? You're not that important. Whatever you gotta say, you can say it when you get home. Don't laugh at my dad. Maybe you're that person today. With Zoom, you're not embracing it. The next one. Let's take a look at Netflix. 232 million subscribers watching old movies. With me? Now today the game has changed. Now you can actually go to Netflix and get a movie deal directly. Ask AMC. They're hurting because of streaming movies. Pay a flat rate. Watch as many movies as you want. No one's going to do that. People like going to the theaters. People love that process. No one's going to do that. Okay. How about the next one? Uber. Now this one is crazy. Right? Today, my daughter will call me. I have a daughter. I have a son. You met my son. I have a daughter as well, Kristen. Right? When Uber was the thing, right, when it first came out, I go, nobody's going to put no kid in no car with a stranger and just let them drive off with your daughter. My daughter will call me sometimes, I'm busy. Dad, can you come get me? Call Uber. So she goes online, asks some guy to pick her up, He pulls up in a plain car, not a taxi. She gets in the back seat. I wave at him. How you doing, sir? Take my daughter. Yes or no? And he drives off. We go, she's fine. And if you had told the taxi guys that, the limousine companies that 30 years ago, they'd say, that's not going to work. How about Spotify? Ask anybody in the music business about Spotify. Changed the entire game. No more records. I was a DJ on the weekends. Streaming music, no commercials. Pay a flat rate, listen as much music as you want from any genre you want on demand. Pick a song. 210 million people paying that monthly fee. How about Facebook? My son said, Dad, you got to get on Facebook. This is before Instagram. Oh, I don't need people knowing my business. Why do I need to know what food I ate today and what movie I like watching and what church I go to? That's none of their business. No, adapt or die. Got on the Facebook, right? And now guess what I found out? I found tons of cousins that I didn't even know I had. I would have never met these Kornegays. I found data that I would have never found in a library. Today, 3.5 billion people. That's half the planet. Okay, and of course, they bought Instagram. Next slide. Amazon. Arguably, Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world, started out by saying, I'm going to put the most boringest thing on the planet online and see if they buy it. I'm going to start with books. Yes or no? Yes. And all of a sudden he changed it to music. Today, you can have your groceries delivered. These are disruptors. He's the richest man in the world. I mean, think about that. What does Amazon make? Say nothing. They distribute everybody's products. How about that? 157 million subscribers. Now this one here, I just learned about this one. I'm new to this one, okay? But there's a myth out there that you can't meet a person online and build a relationship with them online. That's impossible. And this is what I'm hearing from the old heads. You cannot recruit a person online in another state and build a relationship like you can do face-to-face. Then explain to me online dating. My daughter, boyfriend, they've been together now 3 years. I asked her, how did she meet him? She first told me she met him at a restaurant. He walked to her and asked for the number. That's how I grew up. That's what you do. Found out a year later she was talking to her mother, and Pat Newton didn't tell me that she met him on Bumble, some online site. I go, what? You met him on Bumble? She goes, yeah, Dad, I didn't want to tell you right away. So I Googled Bumble. I mean, I heard of the other ones, eHarmony, all the other ones. 50 million people, 50 million members on Bumble. 72% of the people that are meeting on Bumble are actually under the age of 35. People are building relationships online. They're falling in love through a computer. And all you guys, don't tell them you can't build an emotion on TV, through a screen. You'll be yelling at the TV on a football game. Come on, ladies, I see you with my wife. I come home, some Pat's crying. She's watching a chick flick. She's crying. You're looking at a box and you're crying? Well, what is a computer? A box. Right. You can get an emotion. You're just not interested enough. Well, look at Primerica. We're a disruptor. We have 136,000 people in the analog world. In the analog world. That number's going to change to 150,000 before we get to the convention. If you realize what you have in your hand is not a cell phone, C-E-L-L, it's a cell phone, S-A-L-E phone. You have something in your hand, but you're letting it use you. Look at this right here. Look at this. I love this slide right here, okay? This slide here shows a huge data room with a bunch of files, right? You have a stethoscope there to check your heart rate, a microphone, keys, speakers. Everything you see here is inside your cell phone. It's inside your cell phone. Somebody said, I could put all that in one little device. That's right. You have a video camera. You can watch a movie. They put the flashlight industry out of business. Think about that. A merchant account, all your credit cards on your phone, fax machine, scanners, emails. Nobody even uses their cell phone anymore for the cell phone. Am I right? Your wife's sitting right next to you, text her, can you bring me something to eat? Can you come downstairs and take this trash out, honey? Like, you can't call me? Well, I text you. You didn't read my text? So here's the myth, right? Here's the myth. I'm going to handle these two myths. Technology is making people lazy. Not true. Their actual numbers say that according to the data from the U.S. Census Bureau, did you guys know 5.4 million people submitted a business application to start their own business in 2021, which is the highest it's been on record. More people are now starting a business than ever before in the history of the United States. It's actually up 53% since 2019 pre-pandemic. You better get in the entrepreneur world of recruiting entrepreneurs. There are people looking for you, but a closed mouth won't get fed. How about this one? You can't build a relationship online. I already talked about that. A recent survey revealed that 35% of the online dating platforms users have had at least a 6-month relationship before meeting the actual person. I met a young lady that was at my house. I think she's here today. And her husband or boyfriend, or, I'm sorry, her actual spouse, right? They actually met 2 years in advance online before they actually physically met. They were dating for 2 years. They're now married. When did you guys physically meet? 2 years later? You fell in love. I said, how long were you online before you fell in love? I want to know how long did it take for love to go through the computer, right? She said 1 year. 1 year of dating online. We were in love, asked her to marry me. They got married. Almost 14% of online daters got basically get married to someone they met on an online site. 14%. Adapt or die. Adapt or die. Let me show you my numbers here in closing. I want you to see this. It's amazing. Gary talked a little about this, right? And these are my numbers. Obviously, I've been in the business before Gary got involved in the company. But I'm going to show you my first 31 years in the company. 1988, I got my license. Up until 2019, pre-pandemic, we had 698 licensed agents. We were only in 2 states. I didn't even think about even getting to that second state. It happened by accident. I wasn't thinking about being a national company because I can only go so far. Why would I want to set up a budget financially to open up in Washington State? I don't have the funds to go open up in 50 states. That's 50 hotel rooms I find in the office. It would be crazy. My wife would never see me. Look at that. Average meeting attendance, 130 to 200 people. And 200 is a packed op night with no chairs. Not enough bathrooms. 400,000 through third and premium. 300 and then through third, 446 recruits through third generation. And we're making on the average about $102,000 a month. $25,000 a week. $3,000, $4,000 a day. Then the pandemic hit, and we're in trouble. We can't talk to people. We can't touch people. We can't go to their homes. They can't come to the office. We can't have an op night. We're in trouble. Maybe we're not. Now I don't have to wait till Tuesday to do an op night. I can do an op night every day of the week. I don't have to pay a hotel room to seat 500 people for a fast start. My meeting room is as big as I want it to be. So look what happened here. After I changed my thinking, look at this. In 3 years, not 31 years, we're now at 1,524. That number's already changed to 1,600. Okay? This number is moving right now as we speak. 1,524 licensed agents in 39 states. Average meeting attendance on Saturday training is 500 to 750. That just been fast start school. That's my Saturday training. Through third, 800,000 average. 1,200 recruits through third. We're now averaging 208,000 a month, 50,000 a week, 7,000 a day in 3 years. Do you think I'm excited about the next 3 years? Are you excited? Not about the next 30 years. Are you excited about the next 3 years? Because based upon that speed, 1,500 to 600, look at the speed of that. If we just stay at that pace, that 1,500 next year will be probably 2,500. In 3 years, it'll be 3,000 or 4,000. In 4 years, or 3 or 4 years now, it'll be 6,000, 7,000. Will Nerano has over 6,000 licensed agents. Pays them $500,000 a month, half a million a month. We're just getting started. You're not tired, are you? Are you worn out? Are you waiting for the old system to come back? Okay. Some of you guys are going to, they'll bring it back. I know, just like your parents said, they'll bring back the home phone, trust me. Everything's cycled back. They'll bring back that 8-track tape. They need that tape. Okay, keep on waiting. I remember when the microwave came out, my parents said, that causes cancer. I remember when credit cards first came out and debit cards said, that's the devil. The barcodes. Are you with me? Adapt or die. I want you to get excited about your future, not your present. You're presently here with me. You're listening to me. I want you to get excited about tomorrow. Get excited about the convention next year. Get excited about that. And whatever, you got 3 people in the team right now. Next year, you'll have over 500 if you want it bad enough. Are you willing to do the work? Instead of doing one op night a day, do a one night op night a week, do 3 or 4 a day. Nothing's stopping you now. You can say, I'll do op night at 1 o'clock, 1 at 3 o'clock, 1 at 5 o'clock. Yes, instead of talking to one person, Angie, you can tell your whole team, just send out a telegram, put everybody on at 3 o'clock. All of a sudden you look up, because you would have did a presentation, Angie, just to me. Why? You would have came to my house, talked to me and Pat. So what do you care if I bring 50 people in the room? It's the same talk. It's the same work. You can scale your business. You can leverage your business. I want to thank Primerica for giving a guy like me from South Central LA an opportunity to do what I do. This to me is Disneyland. Seriously, man, this is a joke to me what we do. The way they pay us, how they pay us, this is unbelievable. This is crazy. I'm still waiting for I go, psych, we're just kidding. We made a mistake. We've been paying all y'all wrong. This is absolutely unbelievable. God bless you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Kornegay Higher, for coming out. I love you. I'll see you at the top of the Bible's way too proud.